Hi, Mark here from newhometricks.com, and today I want to take you through the unboxing and installation of a new Philips Hue product that we've got. This is the Philips Hue Fair Ceiling Light. Now, since we got started with Philips Hue at the beginning of the channel and blog, there's been kind of an explosion of Philips Hue products available. Back at that point, there was only the bulbs available and one or two all-in-one lights, but now there's a huge range of Philips Hue products available. There are ceiling lights, pendant lights, there's spotlights, wall lights, there are light bars, there's outdoor lights, there's even a outdoor LED strip. So there's now a huge range of different products available, and they tend to fall into one of two categories. You get light fittings that take bulbs, but of course ship with Philips Hue bulbs in the box, and then there are units like this that have no bulb involved, but just have a built-in kind of integrated array of LEDs in the actual light unit itself. Now, the light units, they're rated for like 25,000 hours. That's one of the benefits of LED lights, is that they've got quite a long lifespan. So if you were to use something like this for, say, 6 hours a day, you're probably going to get a decade or more of usage out of that. So the fact that it's not user replaceable, the actual light itself, isn't really too much of a concern. Now, this particular unit comes in two different variations. There's the flush fit ceiling lamp, which is the one that I've got here, and then there's also a pendant lamp variation that hangs down from the ceiling. It's also available in black or white. The light output from this is rated as 3000 lumens, and it's one of Philips Hue's white ambience products, which means that you can control not just the brightness, but also the warmth of the light output as well. And it also comes with one of the Philips Hue wireless dimmer switches in the box, which is quite useful if you want wall-mounted control, and you can take it off its little mounting as a remote control as well. You can even use this as like a starter kit without the Philips Hue bridge. You can use the dimmer switch to control the light directly, and I believe that you can use those dimmer switches to control up to 10 Philips Hue lights without the bridge. Now, of course, if you want to participate in a more sophisticated Philips Hue setup, or you've got more than 10 lights, then you will of course be needing and using the Philips Hue bridge. And that's exactly what we're going to do, because we're going to install this in the entrance hallway to our house to replace the existing light fitting that's there at the moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to pair this up with a Philips Hue motion sensor that we're going to install in the entrance hallway area, so anytime anybody walks through that area, the light will just come on automatically for a short period. And we're also going to install, there's a little cubby hole area just off the entrance hallway, and there's a ceiling mounted GU10 spotlight that sort of illuminates that area. I'm going to replace that with a Philips Hue GU10 bulb, and this is the first of the GU10 bulbs that we've installed into the house so far. So in combination with this, when the motion sensor is triggered, both of these lights will come on, and of course we'll have the dimmer switch if we want manual control, and of course be able to control through the app as well. So let's get straight into it and have a look at what's in the box. Okay, so I've already kind of slipped through the tape on the box, so we'll open the tabs at the top here and just open the top of the box and just open up the flaps. Let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, so on the top here, looks like there's some cardboard packaging on the top, a little leaflet there about Philips Hue, a little welcome leaflet. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera there, so we'll just put that off to one side for a moment, and we've got a kind of a getting started leaflet here as well. Put that to one side, and I can also see the wireless dimmer switch, so that's sort of taped in here, so we're just going to pull that out, so bear with me one moment. Okay, so what you see here, we'll just take it out of the plastic, is that's the actual mounting plate for the wireless dimmer switch, and then this is the actual dimmer switch itself. So you can mount this on the wall, and then you just put this into the mount when you're not using it, or you can of course remove it and use it as a remote control. So again, let's put that to one side as well. So we'll go ahead and just remove this cardboard packaging from the top. Put that to one side. Okay, so this looks like the actual light fitting itself. It's quite heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this flat and slide it out. Okay, so there's one section on the top here that I'm going to pull out. This is quite heavy, so there's obviously something good in here, so we'll put it to one side. And then we'll pull out the main, what looks like the main lamp unit as well. So we'll pull this out of the packaging, put that over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and, okay, so this is just sort of slotted in, so we'll open this up here. Again, we've got some more installation instructions and safety details about proper electrical wiring, etc. So we'll probably be needing that when we go through the installation. Another leaflet here, so we've got another user manual, sort of taking you through the installation steps with some pictorial diagrams, just sort of reminding you to turn the power off, showing you how to actually install it, etc. So we'll just put that to one side as well, and continue opening up the box. Okay, so let's see how we get into this. This seems to be the main light unit itself, so let's just turn this over. This is taped closed, so we'll go ahead and open that up. Okay, so I've managed to rip off the bubble wrap, and what you'll see here is this is kind of the inside of the light. Now, the side panel is loose at the moment because this is not fixed in, so this is the actual side ring that forms the outer edge of the lamp. And if we actually have a look at the actual light unit itself, this is the part that's going to go kind of on the ceiling, and you can see here that what you've basically got is like an array of LEDs in a ring around the outside, and then the control unit and electronics inside, and then we've got kind of the light fixtures dangling down here. Now, if I just put the outer ring back on, I suspect that what was in the other box is going to be the other diffuser that goes on the other side. So let's just take a look. In fact, let's just put the main light fitting to one side. And yeah, this is what we have. This is the other diffuser that's going to be affixed to the light unit to help disperse the light over the area where it's installed. So we'll just combine this with the main light for a moment. Okay, so this is how it's all going to roughly fit together. There's going to be this diffuser, the inside of the lamp, and then obviously the light fittings will need to connect up to the light wiring for the house, and then the whole unit will sit the other way around, affixed to the ceiling. So that's the components that you get inside the box. There's the main light unit here, set of instructions, and of course the wireless dimmer switch. So let's go ahead and go through the installation, see if we can get this working. So the installation proved to be a little bit on the fiddly side. The first problem that we encountered was more to do with our house, that we discovered that in that area there was a kind of a false plasterboard ceiling, so it was a bit tricky to find the right places to drill the holes in order to do the actual mounting. The second problem that we found was that the connectors, the ones that you saw dangling down from the light unit during the unboxing, doesn't really provide much of an accommodation for what is certainly the fairly common lighting setup in the UK, which is that your lighting is on a loop. There's a live wire going around in a loop between various ceiling lights in your home, and so the actual ceiling unit needs to be a junction box in order to provide that light fitting. So there was no additional connector blocks in the box in the Philips Hue light, so we had to sort of provide some of our own in order to do the installation. The third and final criticism that I would make is that the instructions are fairly basic. Now this is a criticism if you're doing this in a sort of DIY setting. Certainly I got the impression from looking at those instructions that there's no text, there's no real instructions there, it's just a series of pictorial diagrams. So it seemed to me very much to be aimed at professional installers only. Now if you are planning to do this yourself, make sure you are comfortable with doing these kind of installations. If you've got any doubts at all about that, do get a professional to do that job for you. But now that we've got it installed, I'm certainly very happy with the light unit. It looks great. It sits about 1 centimetre or 2 off the ceiling, so it's not quite completely flush, but that's quite nice because these two diffusers, there's one on the top, one on the bottom, so you get kind of a glow round the outside of the light at the top, a sort of almost an uplighting effect. Obviously the majority of the light is cast downwards, and it's a nice throw of light over a good broad area, so you get good illumination of the area where the light's installed. The light output itself is quite strong, it's quite bright, so on full brightness you get good illumination. And the fact that you can adjust the warmth of the light output is quite nice as well. So if you set it to a cooler light, then you do get a kind of a nice daylight effect in the area. You kind of feel that you're getting a good daylight illumination of that area. And of course, when combined with the Philips Hue motion sensor, you can choose the lighting effect that you have at different times of the day when the motion sensor is triggered. So during the daytime, you might want that kind of cooler daylight effect. During an evening period, you might want something a bit warmer and a bit more comfortable and cozy as a light output. So certainly very impressed with the overall quality and brightness of the light. We've got the dimmer switch there as well. That seems to work quite well. The on switch actually cycles through 4 different light settings. So you can choose your light presets and then simply press the button the requisite number of times to get to the preset that you want. And then of course you've got the brightness up and down and off buttons, and that just mounts magnetically. We actually found that there was a metal strip somewhere behind the wall, so we've been able to simply take the mounting plate and simply pop it on the wall. We didn't even need to drill any holes or stick it on or anything like that. It's just sort of stuck on the wall there by the magnet. So that works pretty well. We've also got the motion sensor installed, and that's of course going to trigger the light for us, and you can specify how long you want the light to stay on for when motion is triggered. So it's a pretty nice setup overall with that. Pretty pleased with it. The light is quite pricey. The Philips Hue Fair light cost £170. Do I feel that it's £170 worth of light? It's a bit on the pricey side for me, and of course if you wanted to install several of these in a larger room, then the price is going to add up pretty quickly, and it's enough that it might cause some people to perhaps steer away from this and more towards regular light fittings and maybe look at Philips Hue bulbs, because that's certainly going to cost you a lot less. But as a light fitting, it is quite stylish. It is a good quality light. It's a very bright light output, so I'm certainly not disappointed with my choice in that regard. I do like that unit. So we'll let you know how we get on with that. In the meantime, I've of course written up a full write-up in the companion blog post. You can find the link to that in the description below, or check out the website newhometricks.com. If you've liked this video, please share it. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.